All right, it's part two with Jimmy Hamilton, and we're talking hunting and everyday wear that is lifetime guaranteed. This Gun Talk Hunt is brought to you by Silencer Central, Silence Delivered, and Gun Dealio. If you go there, one of the cool things is we got to view a little bit behind the scenes when Jimmy walked us through the building, and man, they've got all kinds of stories about their products, like in-house fires, and and they dropped it off the back of the truck, which I'm sure none of us have ever done before. And they replace it. I mean, it's really cool. Which kind of brings me into clothing, which is a kind of a weird transition there. It is weird because you guys told me this, and I was like, well, how does that work? They stand behind their clothing too. And I've got a lot of pieces of their clothing, and I absolutely love it. What made you guys decide to just get heavy into the clothing business?
I think, man, I can go into a couple of things. I'll go into a few reasons. One, when it started, it was just a branding thing.
Right.
We wanted to be able to have, and honestly, a lot of it was internally. We got employees who were like, hey, we want to wear some shirts that say Vortex on them. That was how things got going. But then I'd say we kind of looked around, and if you look at our employees here, generally speaking, they are kind of also our customers. Like there's not any divide. If you walked into Vortex, you'd be like, oh, these are all the people I expect to be working.
Yeah.
Because they all hunt, they all shoot, they enjoy the outdoors, whatever. And we started noticing that a lot of them show up in an eclectic mix of clothing that is like some hunting brands, some total granola crunching hippie brands, but they make good clothes. It's random t-shirts they got given at some rock festival, or if you're in Wisconsin, it's probably a meat raffle or like a cheese curd fest or beer fest. It was just like a super eclectic mix of stuff. There wasn't a whole lot from an apparel company that kind of echoed all the values and everything that we have. Yes, there are great brands in this space that make clothes. Maybe, for example, they're really heavy into like just hunting, or they're really heavy into like just shooting, just tactical. Everything's, all about that. But kind of like for your average guy or gal who's going to like wear something to work and then wear it out to the bar, and then maybe also, like the next day they want to wear something that's going to do the same thing and go out to check trail cams. It's like your everyday kicking around clothes. There wasn't a whole lot of that from clothing brands that really echoed all of our values. So we kind of thought we could be the company in that space to do it. And it's a little funny coming from an optics company, I think, at first for people. But now, honestly, I think if you look around and you see the apparel team that we have here, and I mean, it's legit stuff. There's actual technology that goes into the clothing. It's actual custom garments, it's stuff like that. And I mean, we're hitting it. We're going right at it.
Well, and that's everything from t-shirts to sweatshirts to jackets to beanies to socks. I mean, to shorts. I really want to see you guys start kind of dipping those toes into the hunting solids. Because that's what I enjoy hunting out of. Like, and it's clothes that, man, I could wear to a bar. I could, wear to a Wednesday night church service if I needed to, and it still looks good. It's form, it's function. And man, I love seeing what you guys are coming out with, and it's just different.
Yeah, that's what we go for. That's
the point. That's the point, right?
Be a little different. Yeah.
But yeah, they the hunting solids I absolutely love. And there are, man, you guys have like on your website, I think it's like 20 plus pages of clothing options just for the guys. Now you guys are doing a whole ladies line. You guys have the kids covered. Any, accessories, you guys are doing stickers and patches. I mean, it's something for everyone. Sig Sauer. I've talked about the Sig Sauer Cross. We've talked just about every firearm that you could think of. One that we don't hit on as much as we really need to is the P320X10, 15 rounds of 10 millimeter. And I'm telling you what, if you're a backcountry hunter, if you just like hiking in the backcountry, you need to have protection. And I'm going to tell you right now, I've tested out bear spray. I'm not impressed. All right. What I am impressed about is power. Power comes from a 10 millimeter, and the P320 is perfect for it. 5-inch slide, easily concealable if you need to, but realistically, you're going to carry it on a hip, you're going to carry it on a shoulder rig, you're going to carry it on a chest rig. So having that amount of power is going to be crucial. Designed, built here in the USA. SIGSAUER.com. I'm telling you what, the P320 X10, the way to go if you're all by yourself. Silencer Central. So Silencer Central, what else can I say about them? I love them because it's easy, and easy works for me, especially in this point of my life, and especially getting those suppressors that I once thought was out of reach because of the amount of paperwork and rigmarole that I had to go through. All right. They send everything to your house. You send in a photo that you take with your camera. You don't have to run to the drugstore to get a passport style photo. You don't have to do any of that. I don't have to go to a lawyer's office to build a trust. Silencer Central does it for me. And I'm telling you what, for ease of use, it is the way to go. Plus, eForms now, 90-day waiting period to get a suppressor that used to take a year and a half. I haven't had one, honestly, that I've actually gotten in under a year. So this is a big deal. And honestly, I am approaching 90 days on a new Banish 46 and Banish 22 suppressor. So I'm super excited to get those in. If you want to learn more about simplifying the process, visit silencercentral.com. I got my wife the Timber Rush flannel, and it is her favorite shirt.
Yeah.
You guys have the ladies fit down to a T. I don't know who's working on there, if you got some super secret staff over there, but you guys have fit and finish down pat.
That's good to hear. That's what we're trying to do. That's definitely an important thing when it comes to clothes. You got to have the fit right. That's why we go kind of the custom route. We run a lot of trails around Vortex. I know a lot of people wind up being fit models.
Oh yeah.
We got people of all shapes and sizes. We got to make sure that everybody's kind of on board with a general sizing of everything. And yeah, but I know my favorite thing. I was just down, actually. I was down south. So I am familiar with what hot is, because I was down in Florida, and you know, you get those days where you wake up and, you know, for fair skinned fellas like myself, you got to chuck on a bunch of sunscreen if you're going to go down to the beach. But you get days where you're lazy and you don't want to do it. So I was wearing our sun slayers a lot, and those things with the SPF 50 in them and the lightweight hood, I wasn't burning up in them because they're nice and light. Throw a hat on, throw the sun slayer on, put the hood up, and then the hat blocks your face. The sun slayer does everything else. I was good. I didn't even have to do the whole sunscreen greasy, shiny thing. It was awesome. I wore those all week.
Man, I'm telling you that. So that the sun, it's funny you mentioned the sun slayer, because that's the one garment that I was like, ooh, if they made that in like a sage green or something, dude, I'm telling you, for an antelope like hoodie and just something comfortable to hunt antelope in, you're not going to get, because you're out there getting beat up by the sun, you know, you're archery hunting, or you're hunting in, you know, in Wyoming that could be 86 degrees, but then again, it could jump to all the way to 30. But for just a lightweight to run out and run in gun shirt, the sun slayer, man, I'm just saying.
You might be onto something. I know. I think the development crew kind of intended that as like a fishing shirt, hence the bright colors. But you might be onto something with,
man. Like I'm telling you that shirt right there, because I have some of those shirts that are just kind of the moisture wicking shirts that, I mean, Under Armour's done them in the fishing side, and they've got a bunch of, you know, colors like that are the aqua camo or whatever. But man, I'm looking at these and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that would be beautiful. You know, you could actually put in a little insert mask into it that just folds down, that could act as, you know, kind of your gator / face covering. I'm just throwing out a couple ideas.
You've been putting some thought to this. I like that.
Oh yeah, no, I think about my clothing. Like, that's important. Like clothing to me is really important, because I've got to be comfortable. And it's got to be right. And that's one thing that I've absolutely loved about what you guys have been doing on that end of it.
Yeah. Nothing sucks more than wearing clothes that like you don't feel comfortable in or you don't like.
Mm-mm.
That sucks.
I agree. I'm 100% on board with that. But well, Jimmy, I appreciate it. And okay, does the VIP like warranty apply to clothing, and how does that work?
Yeah. We had a very similar discussion as to the rangefinder thing when that happened. It works exactly the way it does with all of our other clothes. You gotta know, you get it shredded, you fall down a scree slope of some
I mean,
sort and it gets turned into a rag. Send it in, we'll send you a new one. That's
send
that.
it in. I mean, that
We get people, like just even the kind of hat you're wearing. That's like a good everyday kick around hat. A lot of people
yeah,
have that mesh back hat that they wear for everything.
everything.
We've got people now, it's kind of like a badge of honor, if you will, when it's really been worn in. But you get some folks where they're like, it's time for this thing to retire. And they've sent that into
Yeah,
us. And even sometimes we're like, no, you should have this back also because it stinks. And
that's
then
pretty
here's a new
cool.
one.
It just send
So
you a
yeah.
new one here.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes even just a picture. They're like, hey, do you want me to send this in? We're like, we do not want that.
That's fair. It's got like grease stains all over it, and
Yeah.
well, that's great, man. I love what you guys are doing. Keep it up. We'll get you on closer to season and see how the Sun Slayer's doing for development in the hunting
All
world.
right.
All right, Jimmy Hamilton of Vortex. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, Gun Talk Hunt, as usual, keep those muzzles pointed in a safe direction and always be on the hunt.